Hey guys, it's me, Teresa Perrin. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. I just wanted to do a quick update on BBIG. I'm not going to get into the details of the latest filing because I know that a lot of other YouTubers have already put it out. Wall Street Custodian has a great video on it. Rah Coco put out a video on it. And I just think that I can talk about other things that aren't being talked about right now, such as the gap fill. And I also want to give you an update regarding Ortex and just fill you in on what's going on with dark pool trades and such. So let's get started. Nothing I say is financial advice. Please like and subscribe. On Friday, BBIG had a total of 15,587 trades for a total volume of 14,804,142 shares. BBIG traded a total of 66% in the dark pool on Friday, guys, which is higher than its average of 63% over the past 20 days. As you can see, looking at this chart here, the volume and the movement was very abnormal, guys. Once again, we were in barcoding jail, and I want you to pay particular attention to the time between 1:30 and 2:45 to 3 o'clock. Note that straight line. Guys, it was barely even like barcoding there. It's just almost like a straight line. I have never, ever seen something last that long similarly on any other chart. It's extremely strange. Now, guys, I'm not getting into the details as far as Lisa becoming president, stepping down as, changing positions from CEO to president, or the fact that Ted is now co-CEO. With John Colucci. However, guys, I do want to make an important point about that, which you've probably already heard, but I want to make sure people understand. Ted Farnsworth has agreed not to take a salary as CEO, guys. The fact that he's doing this is absolutely huge, in my opinion. That he feels that he's going to make a lot more money in his current shares than he is, as getting a salary, guys. So I think that is a very important thing for investors to take into consideration. And it certainly gave me a lot of hope. And I mean, I have a great amount of hope in this company, and feel that it's not just hope, guys. I feel that from what I know from AdRiser, Lemotive, that the company as a whole is going to be extremely profitable within the next 5 to 10 years, which is the time frame that I am investing in this stock for a minimum of. That is what I have personally committed to. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. There is opportunity here when this stock does decide to break out and start running. So in addition to my long position, I will also be trading it at that time on the ride up, because I think it's a great opportunity. And, it's something to think about if that's not something you've ever considered. Because, guys, we've been losing a lot of money. I was in this stock long before probably anybody in this play. I know that StockTwits Blows also has been in this for about as long as I have, possibly even slightly longer, because we were both in this when it was like trading for change, guys, like the first time around, before it ever had its initial run up. And back then I saw potential in this company. However, it has been beat down very hard, as you are all aware. And I think that this time around, when it finally is able to break out, which I think is coming soon, guys, because I don't think the benefit for them to the downside is much more. I really believe that we are going to break out of this pattern soon. And I would strongly encourage each and every one of you that has not already watched True Demons, the Devil's Stockbrokers video that he does on BBIG, or that he did this weekend. Guys, it is fabulous, and he describes the signal that he sees. And I'm going to tell you something about that signal for any of you that are on my Twitter space calls. When Redbox was ready to break out and make its run, True Demon came in and was looking some stuff up for us, and he was able to tell us that he saw a signal and thought that it would break out very soon. And within 2 to 3 days, guys, it actually broke out, and it had a very, very nice run up to 18, as you're all aware. And I believe that we're going to see something very similar in BBIG. I'm very confident in that, guys. I think that it has been beat down hard, but I think that they want to buy back their short position as cheap as possible, and that now we're getting close to the fact that once they announce the merger or some other big news, BBIG is potentially going to go on a run. Now, I want to point something out. The title of my video is that there is a gap fill. And guys, I believe that that gap fill is going to be closed sooner than you think. So let's take a look. Okay, guys, many of you have asked what platform I use for my charting, and it's Fidelity Active Trader Pro. And I think that it's excellent because there's so many different tools that it has. Anyways, getting into this, the first gap fill that I see is $1.71, and it goes up to $1.88, guys. And I believe that this is the gap that gets filled, well, obviously first, but fairly quickly once we start moving. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I agree with what True Demon says. And if you look at the MACD here, we are starting to cross above, guys. Now, every time we've crossed back over before, we have had a run. The latest being that small run back here. But I believe that we're going to get a much bigger run, provided, of course, that momentum comes in. Because when it crosses, which it's starting to do right now as we speak, we need volume. So hopefully this week we get a catalyst like a filing with the Zash merger or something of the sorts, guys. Because look way back here when these lines were running very similar. Look at the pattern in the MACD. See the pattern here in the MACD? Look at this run. It actually gapped up very significantly, okay? That was the first major run out of the last 2 years that we had, and it came back down. And guys, it tried to make runs a couple more times, right? The latest being this crossed back under, but it crossed back over briefly when it went and did this, right? Then came back down again. Then the next run here, we got a crossover again. But the pattern that I'm seeing is similar to this one here, or even this one here before this last big run that we had. Guys, there is no doubt in my mind, looking at this, if I were to draw lines, and I'm sorry, but for some reason my cursor is not working when it's recording because I'm pointing at things, but it's not coming out in the video. But if I were to draw lines, just picture attaching the tops of these runs, right? And connecting them. And you're going to get a triangle, right? That we started to break out of here. Now we've come down and made another small triangular pattern. In the last 2 years, guys, the lowest that we ever hit was 76 cents. Now, is there a potential it could go down and try to grab that 76 cents and make a double bottom, essentially, over the 2 year time frame? Yes. However, I feel it's highly unlikely. They are having trouble getting this and holding it below $1. So I believe it's more likely than not, especially with this crossover, that we are going to go back up. Now, the other thing that could happen is this could make another little tiny cross below, followed by a cross back up. Maybe when it does that cross below, it tries to dip below $1 again. There are no guarantees, right? We definitely all learned that. And this stock is not in our control at all. It's not in any of retail's control right now. But if I were to look at the triangle, we are absolutely ready for a breakout. And I believe that that is going to come potentially this week, provided, of course, we get volume. That is the missing piece, guys, the missing link. But like I said, they can only take it down for so long. They have made substantial gains. They have been shorting this from the top all along. Plus, with all the options contracts, and that's the bulk of their money, guys. People buying options and them just liquidating the crap out of this, knowing that those options are never ever going to expire in the money, which is horrible. It's a way they're cheating, they're stealing from retail, but guys, there's no enforcement. So, unfortunately, we have to take this market for what it is and learn. Stop giving them our money. Just stop giving them our money in the options pool, because they're just taking it and they're using it against retail. So, it is not in our best interest on this stock to play options. And guys, this stock is cheap. It's trading at $1 right now. There is absolutely no reason why people cannot buy shares and hold, because the upside potential of this is huge, especially if TikTok gets banned. But even without TikTok being banned, guys, I want you to remember the potential that Lemotive and AdRiser have in India alone. India is a humongous country. But guys, we all know that they're in a lot more places than just India, right? But that's where they're targeting a marketplace right now. And the potential upside is huge, but they are also targeting the US, because look at who they're hiring. Look at who is promoting Lemotive and AdRiser. I mean, they have Shaq, they have Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber. They have so many different, A-grade stars. And guys, there's no doubt in my mind that once it starts taking off, it is going to be huge. Kids are always looking for the newest, biggest, best thing. So as long as Zash and Lemotive can provide them that next big thing, guys, then you better believe that it is going to absolutely show. And we'll be laughing a few years from now about how upset we were that this was trading at $1 and saying, dang, I should have bought more, right? That's what I'm hoping for anyways. All right, guys, let's get into the Ortex and call it a night. Thank you so much. I just want to mention one other thing about, I just moved this to show you the 1-year chart, not the 2-year, because it shows me a better RSI. And guys, this is why I think it may try to dip back down before it actually rockets up, because the RSI right now is trading in that 35-36% area, right? I'd like to see it dip under the 30 before it rockets back up, because if you notice that, like this run, it barely came down, and even if it just taps it, I think we could get a bigger run from that, guys. And a lot of times when it goes to oversold, it signals a buying power. So we'll see if that actually happens. If it does, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm going to be looking at it as an opportunity of where I can be buying more. So just a heads up, I mean, I do think it has a potential to dip slightly lower before it rockets back to the upside. And guys, nobody has the magic crystal ball. We can see that it should be coming. I would like to say that hopefully it's this week, because that's kind of what I can see from my chart pattern. But again, the stock has been manipulated for a very, very long time. And it is probably one of the biggest manipulated stocks in the entire market right now. So it's going to be when they decide to let it go. I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. Bottom right hand corner, it's about to make its crossover as well. The lines are practically parallel and touching, which they've been for a while. So once again, I think that it's only a matter of time. Hopefully this crosses above on Monday, may dip slightly first, like I said, and then rockets back to the. Okay, guys, lastly, I want to go over the short interest. So as far as Ortex goes, the current short interest is 19.36% of the free float. As you can see, that was a decrease of 1.51%. Currently, on Friday, they borrowed 6.7 million shares to short, and 7.51 million shares were returned for a decrease of 806.14 thousand shares. The cost to borrow average is currently fairly low, guys, 26.96% with a max of 45.35% and a minimum of 4.72%. Now, the reason why this is so low, guys, is because as the price declines, it gets cheaper and cheaper to borrow in general, especially when you start to see that the short interest is decreasing. However, As this starts to run, I believe that you will see the cost to borrow start to increase. Guys, there's only so much more further they can go down, and eventually they are going to drive this price back up. And I'm a firm believer that that is going to happen sooner rather than later, as you've seen by what I've discussed previously in this video. So guys, all in all being said, I am still very, very bullish on BBIG and its future, especially with Lemotive and AdVisor. And I believe that we do see that merger announcement coming as early as this week. No guarantees. Again, I don't do the filing, and we all know how BBIG likes to delay things, but it is definitely on the horizon, guys. So keep an eye out for those filings. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.